Now, here are Kelly Ripa and Josh Groban.
Our dancing's getting better.
Pretty soon we'll be on Dancing with the Stars All-Star Edition.
Groban, Feet of Flames.
Feet of Flames. It's Tuesday, July 17th, 2012. Josh Groban is back for a second day.
Hello.
What does it mean? What does it all mean?
A second day back sitting here with you, and a second day in a row, which is of wearing a pocket scarf.
I am so
for me, which
impressed
is
with your pocket scarf.
Yesterday's was square, and today's is a little pointy.
I like it.
And thank you. You know, it's
You're very chic.
You know, thank you very much. I try. You know, I'm a very casual person in general. I walk out of the house in you know, New Balance sneakers and sweats, and you got the hat down and everything. So. It's the least I can do. If I'm going to get up this early, I better look sharp.
You could not look sharp if you tried.
You look sharp.
I'm wondering though about you. Can you walk down the streets in New York and not be recognized? Can you walk down any street and not be recognized?
Almost any street.
Almost any street.
Except for Skid Row. Oh my.
My gosh, I feel like we're in Little Shop of Horrors, the musical.
My past, it haunts me. Well, you know, I like to be as anonymous as possible. I like to go out on my bike and walk around. So so I try to. I don't think I'm not the kind of person that people are kind of expecting to see. Just kind of, I don't know, out. I'm a little bit of a hermit.
I think of you as being very recognizable. When I see you, I know you instantly.
Well, we are friends. That does help. You know what I mean? You know, but thank you. Yes, and we actually did run into each other on the street once.
Do you remember you had your groceries? I
had my groceries, and you were on your phone and your sweats.
And I was like, oh my God, it's Josh Groban.
I'll see you in the show. I'll see you in the.
And I got so excited that I saw somebody famous on the street. I swear, I really did. I got like blown away. And once in a while, I'll see somebody I know on TV. Like I saw you in a PBS special, and I started screaming, like, "There's Josh!"
At the TV?
At the TV, to no one in particular.
Nobody screams at PBS. That's incredible. That's wonderful.
Very excited about it.
Usually people are like, "That's Josh."
No, I was very excited.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Did you do anything exciting last night? Any hot dates out on the town?
The nice thing, you know, we're out of here at 10 a.m. sharp, and so I had the whole day to nap, and and also I hit the gym a little. I'm a little sore today. I'm a little sore. I hadn't really done some of the equipment, you know, in a long time, and sometimes the muscle memory just isn't what it is, and especially when you go to a gym like in New York, but it's really packed. You have to kind of work in, you know. So people, you got guys that are doing. Do you mind if I do a couple? Do you mind if I work in while you're resting? Do you mind if I work in? And then I get on there. I go, oh, yep, all right, it's good. It's a good machine. That's a good machine. No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I'll take you to spin class with me. It's fun, and they turn the lights off, and nobody can tell. You know, like nobody can see. Anybody else? So there's none of that judgment there.
I'll just switch to pitch black Pilates. I think it's just perfect.
Good idea.
Glow in the dark Pilates. Yeah. And then I went to Victor Cruz's book party last night. A good friend of mine. He's on the show tomorrow morning, which is so great.
Yeah, it's great.
And that was great. He's got a new book out, and it was a really fun party.
Oh, and did he salsa dance and all that?
He didn't salsa dance. No. The Hennessy was pouring, and there was a lot of dancing, but no salsa, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, we'll save it for the show.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to salsa dance with him.
Me too. What about you?
I talk about this every year. My son goes to a day camp, and they have visiting day, which I never really understand because you're visiting children that you see every day. So we went to visiting day. I was like, "Hi, it's me." He's like, "Oh, I just saw you 4 hours ago." I'm like, "Here I am."
For you. Yeah.
But it's great for the parents because we get to see what they've been working on, which is archery, which I think if it's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's that nobody should ever give my son a bow and arrow. It was very scary.
No attempts to put the apple on your head yet?
No,
Oh,
my
okay,
gosh,
good.
you should never try to hit fruit off of any person's head. But it's funny, I met a couple of the other mothers, and we were talking about the Olympics coming up, and we were like, archery. That seems like a sport that you could have a life and still do, you know, because we all have fantasies about our sons being in the Olympics, or our daughters, or our children being in the Olympics. But some of these sports seem like you have to give up your entire life, not just as a child, but as a parent, spending hours at the gym, or hours in the pool, or hours on the horse.
Life
but
is tough
archery,
for a child archer. I would imagine that's not easy.
We were just like, well, that seems like a life sport. It seems like you can have a life and do that sport. Now, I'm sure there are people who are in archery right now that are writing me a letter like, I haven't had a life ever.
Plus, there's the whole pressure at that age of stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, too.
Exactly.
I mean, that's going to be a problem, you know. So, you know, it comes with the territory of archery. Nobody, that just went over every. Okay.
No,
right,
it's like,
that's fine. Anyway, well, that's very cool. I did the archery at camp. I went to camp and did the archery.
Somebody wrote in that went to your camp yesterday, right? We got an email from
No, that was an arts camp. There was no archery at the arts camp.
Oh, that was arts camp. Okay.
No weapons.
That
just
was singing camp.
We shatter glass with our voices. That's
So,
what we do, yes.
when did you leave?
At the arts camp.
When did you leave weapons camp and go to singing camp?
Well, I decided when I was 13, when puberty hit. I decided it was time to put down the guns and bows and arrows, and I thought, okay, this is like when I go to Skid Row. That's my past.
Right.
11 and 12 years old, I was just totally clad. I was like Batman. I had weapons galore.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not at home, just at camp.
It's funny. You try not to give, like, we always tried not to give our kids guns and things like violent things, but they turn everything into a gun, like a rock. They're like, it's my weapon, it's my gun. A stick is a gun. It's my sword, it's my spear. I'm like, they will make weapons out of anything.
Out of anything. A banana.
Yeah, it's so true. They like, take Lola's Barbie dolls, and they're like, it's a semi-automatic.
It's like,
you know, Barbie's legs are like.
In Field of Dreams, when Kevin Costner tries to rob James Earl Jones with his finger in his pocket, you go, that's not a gun, it's your finger. That's my favorite moment of that movie.
Yeah, that's a great moment, as a matter of fact.
Well, speaking of Batman, there was a very, very interesting scientific. I know you're very interested in science. You read the science section of the Times.
Yes.
There was a very, very scientific study done called "The Trajectory of a Falling Batman," on whether or not he could actually fly at speeds of 68 miles per hour. With the cape that he has, would he die when he hit the ground?
Oh.
The study showed that he would, in fact, die if he hit the ground with his current cape. Now, if he
there's no way, because he would land the way he lands, gracefully, and he lands on his feet, and the cape slinks down around him. Yes.
Yes. Well, in the movie, absolutely. That's.
So they're putting this in real life?
This is a good time for a scientist. I would imagine this study is. This is a party for them.
I'm wondering, like, so in the Science Center, and they're assigning studies.
In the Science
Who
Center.
wants to do the Batman study on how, if Batman could actually
Yeah.
survive, if he jumped off of the Empire State Building and landed on his feet, would he live?
Oh.
Were there like 7 people that went, I'll do that one?
Absolutely, I would do it. It's
I'll
like
do that
Revenge of the Nerds. I would
Oh
be
my
like,
gosh.
I'd be like, so I push him off now? Should I? You're telling me I get to push this jock off a building
Right.
and see if he'll die? Is that what you're saying?
Speaking of real-life heroes, there's a real-life hero. There's a neighborhood man here rescued a 7-year-old Brooklyn girl who has autism, and somehow climbed out. She managed to push the air conditioning unit out of her parents' apartment 3 stories up, and got out on the windowsill and fell. And I think we have video of this man rescuing her. It's kind of remarkable footage.
what?
He catches her. I mean...
Oh, my God.
Well... His name is Stephen St. Bernard. He hurt his arm. I think he actually broke her fall. It seems like they both sort of fell down.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was perfectly, she was unscathed. Kayla McCree, and then Stephen St. Bernard is, we're so
That's
thankful
incredible.
to you.
Why we don't even need Batman. We've got real life heroes. And
He's Batman, but
he's Batman.
he's Batman, but he hurt his wing.
He's Oh.
He hurt his wing.
And I love that his last name is Saint Bernard. Like,
yeah.
I feel like...
Stephen St. Bernard.
Yeah, that's...
He should have a thermos around his neck.
Yeah. It's, I think of the name as being,
being a
medical or a helper,
yeah,
thing.
he's a real hero. That is terrific. We're so thankful that you were there, Mr. St. Bernard. You are terrific.
There are so many epic fails on the interwebs. Of people injuring themselves and getting hurt and worse, that to see one where actually somebody did something good on the internet is actually really great. Apparently, you know, there's a thing where people think they can catch somebody who's lying, you know, just by the way if they say something to you and you kind of look into the...
You know, there's a study, there's a whole book based on that, too.
There is, yes. Yeah. Well, there's a new study apparently that says that that's not true. That you can apparently, that is all out the window and there's no... You look gorgeous today. I'm not wearing adult diapers. I'm really not.
What is it,
I promise. I swear to you guys, I'm not.
Now I don't believe you. Now I don't believe a thing you say.
Well.
I always say that my husband could beat that test. They have a test where they study people's faces. They flash something up, and you can tell if they're lying, you know, or you can tell if somebody's angry or sad, or you can pick the thing. My husband could beat all of that because he's got like a very, he's got an amazing poker face. I never know what the heck he's thinking.
He's got, he is though. I mean, he just seems like the kind of guy that would be able to be strapped to all those things and just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe normally.
Just be chiseled.
Breathe normally and pass that lie detector test. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I suppose in a marriage that's somewhat important, right? I mean, you need to be able to...
Yes, you have to be able to lie to your wife.
Well, both. I mean, in both ways. You have to be kind of not lies, but just you got to be able to, you know,
you have
smooth.
to be
able to maneuver
pull off.
the
Do I look fat in this dress? No, you certainly do not. You look young and tiny and dainty and lovely. Get in the car, we're late. With a certain conviction.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, well, good.
There's a new app now that rescues people from bad dates, everybody. A new app. Now, remember in the days, ladies who were older before cell phones when we were dating, do you remember? Some of you girls, there are women...
Before cell phones, that's me.
There are women in this audience that don't recall dating without cell phones. I recall that. So what we would do is we would let our girlfriend know the name of the restaurant and have her call 20 minutes in.
I would just tie a note to my child Archer's bow and just like...
So we would call and say, how's it going? And you would either say, oh my gosh, there's a dreadful emergency at my apartment, it's flooded, and leave. Or you would say, I think this guy is not a psychopath.
Not doing anything.
So that's how we did that. But now there's a whole app that calls you and lets you pretend there's an emergency. So
what does it do? Does it pretend to call you?
It calls you.
It calls you.
Yeah,
it does. There's a script it reads.
Yeah.
Can it do it? Can it personalize it?
It graciously allows you to play along and get out of the situation.
Is there like a computerized voice? You type in your name and it says, "Oh my God, there's a huge emergency!" And Kelly Ripa.
Right.
We need you right away, Kelly.
Incredible.
Put it on speakerphone.
All right, we've got a huge show today. We want to get to it. Gary Oldman is here. He is
the best. One of the great actors.
Incredible actor. Incredible.
And in what I think is an extraordinary combination of guests on this show.
Yes.
This is wonderful. Nicole Snooki Polizzi and Jennifer J. Wow Farley is on the show. And pregnant Snooki.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Pregnant Snooki. And Live's Coast to Coast co-host search continues when we find out which one of our finalists is eliminated and who will be continuing on in our competition to find me a co-host.